Did you know there are forces in your home that might be blocking your prosperity? What I'm about to reveal today may sound unbelievable, but there are 4 animals that carry ancestral lessons capable of transforming your energy, opening pathways to luck, and attracting abundance in ways you've never imagined. These animals aren't just symbols, they play a real role in your life. And the most surprising part, many people have one of them nearby and don't even realize the impact it can have. What happens when you align your energy with what they teach? If you feel that your life is stagnant, as if something is always holding back your growth, this video is for you. By the end, I'll not only reveal what these animals are, but also show you how to use them to attract everything you desire. Don't blink. Every detail matters. What you discover today might be exactly what you've been missing to truly change your life. Let's begin. The universe doesn't waste energy. Everything that exists is in constant motion, interconnected by a force we can't see but deeply feel. This energy flows between us and animals, between what we touch and what we imagine. The universal flow is simple yet powerful, reminding us that no life exists in isolation. When we recognize this, something changes within us. We learn to listen to nature, not with our ears, but with our hearts. Think of a moment when you felt completely at peace. Maybe it was while watching a river flow, listening to birds sing, or feeling the quiet company of a nearby animal. These moments aren't coincidences. They're invitations from the universe to realize that we're part of something greater, a flow that's always available to align us with prosperity, abundance, and true inner peace. The question is, are we open to it? When we shut ourselves off from this flow, we lose touch with our essence. We begin to accumulate tension, fear, and doubt. It's as if our energy becomes stuck without direction while the universe continues to flow around us. But there's a way to realign this energy, the conscious practice of respecting life. This respect isn't just a gesture of kindness, it's a decision to live in harmony with everything that exists. Animals are masters of this flow. They don't carry ambitions or resentments. Their energy is pure, present, and genuine. When a dog looks at us, it doesn't judge us, it welcomes us. When a bird flies, it doesn't hesitate, it trusts the wind. This trust, this acceptance, are lessons we can apply to our own lives. What actions are you taking today that block the flow of energy in your life? What thoughts do you need to release to set yourself free? Life doesn't have to be a constant struggle. The universal flow teaches us that prosperity and balance come when we stop resisting. One practice you can start now is meditation. Sit in silence, take a deep breath, and listen to the sounds around you. Each sound is proof that you're part of this flow. Let gratitude fill your heart as you realize that even in difficult moments, you've never been alone. The universe has always been there, waiting for you to listen. The energy we give to the world comes back to us. Today, choose to nourish your life with actions that elevate your vibration. Donate your time, care for a plant, or feed an animal. These small acts have the power to transform not only your day, but your entire journey. And remember, every transformation begins with a step. What step will you take today to reconnect with the universal flow? And this is just the beginning. There's something profound to be discovered when we look at those who share this space with us. Let me reveal to you now a guardian that many have in their homes, but few truly recognize. Cats aren't just companions, they are silent masters, capable of transforming the energy of a home. There's something almost magical about their presence, but don't be mistaken, this isn't about mystery, it's about purpose. In Buddhism, cats are recognized as energetic guardians. They don't speak, They don't demand, but they are always there, attentive, maintaining the balance around us. And often they show us what we avoid seeing. Let me share something with you. I met a woman going through a difficult time. Her home felt heavy, her mind was full of endless spinning thoughts, and she felt trapped in a cycle of negativity. Without knowing what else to do, she adopted a cat. Not because she believed it could help, but because she wanted silent company. What happened next was remarkable. The cat entered her home, chose a corner of the living room, and sat there in total silence. Days went by, and little by little, things began to change. It wasn't immediate, but she noticed that every time she was with the cat, her breathing slowed and her thoughts started to organize themselves. What happened there wasn't magic, it was transformation. The cat didn't take her problems away, but created a space where she could face them with greater clarity. It taught her to be present, to connect with that moment. This woman told me something I'll never forget. He doesn't speak, but he shows me everything I need to know about myself. This experience isn't unique. Cats have the ability to bring us into the now, where answers lie. And do you know what's most powerful? They reflect us. When they're restless, it might mean the energy around us is out of balance. When they avoid us, it could mean we're ignoring something within ourselves. They don't accuse us, but they also don't lie. Their presence demands sincerity. Having a cat at home is like having a constant reminder that peace is built moment by moment. When they lie down in silence, they invite us to do the same. When they observe in stillness, they show us the power of mindfulness. But all of this only happens when we're willing to listen. Have you ever stopped to hear the silence a cat offers? If you feel your energy is disorganized, allow yourself to learn from them. Take a moment to be present. Sit down, observe your breathing, and let your worries dissolve into the air. Like cats, you can create a space within yourself where energy flows freely, where there's clarity, where there's transformation, and there's more wisdom waiting for you. There's a powerful lesson in stability and purpose, a lesson from another guardian of nature. Let's explore this figure, one that embodies the balance we often seek in our lives. There's a precious lesson in the way turtles live. In Buddhism, they symbolize stability and patience, two virtues that often elude us in the rush of daily life. But the turtle, with its unshakable calm, seems to tell us that there's no need to hurry. Every step has its purpose, and it's this purpose that moves us forward. I met a man who shared a story about a transformative moment in his life. He had a job that consumed him completely. Goals, deadlines, and a constant need to prove something to himself and others. Then, during a trip, he came across a turtle by the riverbank. He stood there, watching it move slowly, not hesitating, but also not rushing. In that moment, he realized he had been living as if happiness were something he could reach by running. But the turtle taught him something. Life isn't about arriving, it's about walking. This lesson made him deeply reflect. He began changing small habits. Instead of starting his day frantically answering emails, he dedicated the first few minutes to meditation. Instead of trying to do everything at once, he started prioritizing. And you know what happened? For the first time in years, he felt his mind was at peace. This change didn't occur because he stopped. It happened because he learned to walk at the right pace. The turtle reminds us that stability is not a final destination, but a daily practice. It's a choice we make when we decide to take a deep breath in the face of a challenge, when we choose to listen before reacting, when we recognize that obstacles are not permanent barriers, but steps along the way. What in your life needs more stability today? Where can you slow down to move forward with greater wisdom? This practice of stability is also an act of protection. The turtle carries its home on its back, not as a burden, but as a shelter. We too have our inner refuges, but sometimes we forget they exist. When everything feels uncertain, turn inward. Find there a space of silence, balance, and strength. Because you have, even if you don't realize it, everything you need to rise again. And don't be mistaken, patience is not resignation. It is the ability to remain steady, even when the winds blow against you. It's knowing that things take the time they need to bloom. If there's something you wish to achieve, trust this time. Trust that, step by step, you'll reach where you need to be. The turtle's lessons remind us that true growth is built on stability. But there's another quality that complements this teaching. Freedom. Birds carry a call that resonates with our souls. Freedom. They don't remain tied to the earth, but use it as a launching point toward the sky. In Buddhism, they symbolize transcendence, the ability to rise above suffering and the limitations we believe define us. But freedom, at its core, is not about flying far away. It's about finding peace within ourselves. I remember a woman who once sought my guidance. She said she felt suffocated, as if she were living a life that wasn't hers. Her responsibilities were overwhelming, and though she loved her family, the weight of being everything to everyone was draining her joy. During a walk, she sat down to rest and noticed a bird perched on a branch. It seemed so small, so fragile, but when it took flight, its movements were filled with strength and purpose. She told me, "In that moment, I realized I was living as if I had wings, but never used them." That experience changed everything. She began doing small things that connected her to herself, waking up a little earlier to read, writing down her dreams in a journal, and finally allowing herself to say no when she needed space. She didn't abandon anyone, but learned that freedom is about choosing to be who we are, even amidst life's demands. And the most beautiful part? Over time, those around her began to transform as well. Her courage inspired them. Birds teach us that freedom is a daily choice. It's not in the future or in some distant place. It's in the moment we decide to release what holds us back, a limiting belief, an old fear, a pattern that no longer serves us. It's an act of courage, yes, but also of self-love. What's keeping you from flying today? What weight can you let go of to feel lighter? The flight of birds also teaches us about detachment. They carry nothing but their wings. This doesn't mean we must abandon everything, but it reminds us not to cling to what is no longer necessary. Think about it. What are you holding on to in your life that no longer brings you joy or growth? Sometimes, to soar higher, we need to leave something behind. But freedom isn't solitude. Birds, even in their freedom, travel together. They remind us that we can be free and still care for one another. True freedom is sharing who we are without losing our essence. It's about connection without compromising what makes us unique. These teachings invite us to reflect deeply on our journey. After all, what are you waiting for to spread your wings? The freedom you seek is already here, waiting to be lived. And there are more lessons on the horizon because another companion teaches us about love and loyalty in a way that transforms even the most guarded hearts. There's something in a dog's eyes that disarms us. No matter how many times the world has hurt us, they continue to look at us as if we are the best thing that has ever happened. In Buddhism, dogs represent loyalty and unconditional love, virtues that remind us of what's essential in life. True connection, which demands nothing but presence and sincerity. Once, a young man shared a life-changing moment with me. He was going through a period of loss and felt that no one around him understood. Even the company of his closest friends felt distant. One day, while sitting alone in his backyard, his dog approached him, sat beside him, and rested its head on his lap. The silence of that moment brought him to tears for the first time in months. He said, "My dog didn't try to fix me. He just stayed there with me. And that was all I needed." A dog's loyalty isn't in words or grand gestures, it's in their constant presence. They show us that we don't need to be perfect to be loved. How many times have you felt you weren't enough? Perhaps the love of a dog is here to remind us that we are already worthy exactly as we are. Imagine what would change in your life if you treated yourself with the same kindness they offer so freely. Dogs also teach us about dedication. They live to be by our side, to protect us, to accompany us even on the hardest paths. A simple example. Have you noticed how they rush to the door when you arrive, no matter how long you've been gone? It's as if every return is a reason to celebrate. It makes us wonder, are we showing this kind of gratitude to the people we love? But the most powerful lesson they offer is about what it means to be present. A dog doesn't worry about tomorrow or carry the weight of yesterday. They live in the now and invite us to do the same. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be fully present, without distractions, with someone you love? Perhaps that is the gift you can give today. There's something profoundly transformative in the way dogs face life. Even after being rejected, mistreated, or neglected, many dogs are still capable of trusting again, of loving again. This challenges us to reflect, where in our lives do we need to forgive, let go of pain, and make space for love to return? By their side, we learn that loyalty isn't a duty, but a choice made with the heart. A choice to be there, to care, to protect. What can you do today to show loyalty to the people who matter most to you? Perhaps the simple act of being present is the greatest gift of all. Just as dogs teach us about love and connection, there's an even greater invitation to reflection that comes from nature itself. The connection between the teachings of animals and our relationship with life runs deeper than we imagine. Nature has always taught us. Its lessons are in every whisper of the wind, every wave of the sea, and every leaf that falls silently to the ground. But we are often too busy to listen. Buddhism invites us to restore this connection, not as distant observers, but as living parts of the whole. Respecting nature is not just an act of kindness, it's a commitment to the essence of who we are. I met an elderly woman who lived surrounded by trees, animals, and the quiet of a small village. She told me that for a long time she saw nature as something beautiful but external. Until one day, a violent storm knocked down the oldest tree near her house. She was devastated, as if she had lost a piece of herself. For weeks she cared for the broken trunk and exposed roots, and in the process she began to realize that the tree wasn't just part of the scenery, it was a companion, a witness to her own story. From that moment, she began living differently. Every simple act, watering her plants, watching birds, or picking fruit from her yard, became a ritual. She told me something I'll never forget. I thought I was caring for the earth, but I discovered it was the earth caring for me. This realization transformed her life, and everyone who knew her said she exuded a peace that couldn't be explained but could be felt. Buddhist teachings show us that nature is not here to serve us, but to walk alongside us. Every living being has a purpose, and every element of the earth carries its own energy. When we stop to recognize this, something shifts within us. How can you show more respect for what's around you? Perhaps by planting something, reducing waste, or simply taking a moment to be grateful for the air you breathe. But connection with nature goes beyond actions. It's a state of presence. When you feel the warmth of the sun on your face or the coolness of rain on your skin, you're not just experiencing physical sensations. You're touching something much greater, the universal flow of energy that connects everything and everyone. What would happen if you stopped right now to pay attention to this moment? This respect transforms not only the world around us, but also the world within us. Harmony with nature reflects the harmony we cultivate with others, with our thoughts, and with our intentions. What have you been doing to align your energy with the abundance nature offers? Remember, every small action matters, and its impact always returns to us. And just as we learn from animals, plants, and the elements, we also learn from one another. This is the deepest invitation of Buddhist teachings, to live in harmony, to learn every day, and to transform how we relate to the world. This is the call I leave for you today. Have you ever wondered why you are here, right now, in this exact moment? It's not a coincidence that you've come across this message. Something greater is at work in your life, even if you can't fully see or understand it yet. Sometimes the path feels dark and heavy, and we question if there's still anything worth fighting for. But I want you to know, there is a force within you that has never disappeared, even when everything seemed lost. You are stronger than you believe. Think of everything you've already overcome. The nights you cried alone, the days you got up even when you felt you had no strength. Look at who you are today, not perfect, but resilient. With every step, no matter how shaky, you've built something. You've made it this far because there is a purpose for your life, and it's greater than any challenge you're facing now. I know there are moments when the pain feels overwhelming, when the weight of the world seems unbearable. But it's in those moments we must remember, storms don't last forever. No matter how fierce the winds or how intense the waves, they pass. And when they do, what remains is you, stronger, wiser, and more prepared to embrace what lies ahead. Take a deep breath. Believe. The sun will rise for you again. You might feel like no one understands what you're going through. But let me tell you something. The universe knows you. It sees your struggle, hears your quietest thoughts, and responds, even if you don't realize it. Every challenge is an opportunity to uncover a strength you never imagined you had. What you're facing now is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter, and you still have so many more to write. Look within yourself and make a promise. Promise that today you will care for yourself like never before. It doesn't matter how small the gesture, a prayer, a warm bath, a moment of silence. Do it for yourself, because you deserve love, care, and peace. Don't wait for life to get better to be kind to yourself. Start now. You are worthy of everything you dream of, even if you've forgotten it. I know you may feel tired, but I need you to trust. Trust that there's something greater, something beautiful waiting for you. And I'm not talking about distant miracles or impossible rewards. I'm talking about the light in your eyes when you realize you're still here, that there's still time to start over, to love, to live. You have not been forgotten. You are loved, even if you don't realize it. This is the message you needed to hear today. Don't give in to the pain. Use it as fuel to grow, to transform your life. I believe in you, and one day you'll look back and be thankful you didn't give up. Because everything you're facing right now is just the beginning of something extraordinary. Now that you've learned these teachings from the animals, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? The power to transform your life is in your hands. Small actions, simple changes, can bring the prosperity, abundance, and peace you're searching for. But this only happens when we take the first step, when we decide it's time to live differently. You didn't come this far by chance. If something touched your heart, if you felt this message was for you, it's because it was. And this is only the beginning. Nature, the animals, and the energy around you are ready to guide you, but it's up to you to choose to listen. So, I want to invite you, don't keep this to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone you love, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any future messages that could transform your life. Together, let's create a wave of positive energy, spreading these lessons to as many people as possible. And in the comments write, "I choose prosperity and transformation in my life." Declare it with faith, because when we set our intentions into the universe, it responds. I want to see this phrase echoing and spreading so that everyone who reads it feels the same impulse for change that you're feeling now. And before you leave, watch the video that will appear on the screen. It offers teachings just as transformative as the ones you've seen today and could be the missing piece to propel your journey forward. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.